Hello and welcome my fab fans to Glam's new video. I started watching this one movie called The Help after having a really rough day at work. Luckily my workday is over and I can finally relax slightly while doing some diamond art. I know, despite recording myself and slightly wearing myself out with doing it, I'm actually enjoying myself because I can just think without having a list of things I need to get done. But instead just do what I enjoy, which is art. All kinds of art, though I know that the algorithm really does not like to share my videos. So if you do want me to eventually do better and have more access to other things, the best thing you can do is to share my videos with people that would watch them too. And comment. Share them with your friends, people you know. Best thing you can do for a small content creator is to like, comment, and share as much as you can. I know a lot of us gathered together here in my channel because we have a lack of friends and people around us, but there's still ways to share. Even if it's to strangers. I mean, that's how I started selling jewelry in the first place. I just started talking to people and then eventually started selling things that I've made. I don't have a shop and I don't have an online one. And if I had a studio, I'd probably sell so much more jewelry, I'm not gonna lie. Because then I'd have time to work on things and make multiples of things. But the only way for me to actually make multiples of any jewelry is to buy bulk of them, material for the specific item. But to do specific colors would be harder than if I were to do something like a rainbow. Because when you buy a certain number of beads in a pack, it only sends you so much. Right now I'm watching a movie called The Help because, well, I kept seeing shorts for it, was like, wow, one of the maids fed a girl shit. That's hilarious. But there's a lot of like, oh, that's an ad. Why was it so loud? Mickey Mouse? Me skipping that was what the fuck. She's hanging laundry out, but it's about to rain. Some people are deeply cruel. I feel like mothers should raise their own kids. And anyone who doesn't is an asshole. who clearly doesn't love anyone other than themselves. Like, I understand getting, like, a babysitter and stuff. There's a difference, because that means you just have work to do. You need money to pay for living. That's a completely different situation. The thought I'm having is people who have the free time to actually be there with their kid as often as possible, but still hand it off to someone else, even though they're doing nothing. People who have maids, they don't really raise their kids. Not always. The ones who do, I feel like they're doing better. But the ones who don't at all, the help becomes their parents rather than their parents. Instead, they're just the life givers rather than the actual parent. A parent is a person who is actually there for you through the thick and the thin and helped raise you to be who you are now. That's why I can call both my parents, is because of how they raised me. Even if they were drug addicts the whole time, they still were there. Sure, they had their addictions, but they made sure they had time for me and my brother. Did I need a little bit extra? Technically, I should have, but that's because I have a lot of mental struggles. The average person doesn't. Something I use a lot of the time is Grammarly, because I'm very bad at writing correct grammar. And I tend to type way faster than I try to type as fast as I think, and I can't keep up. My brain moves a little too quickly for me. And so sometimes when I'm typing, I merge multiple words together into a ball of gibberish. And I never use periods or sentence structure, since my brain just flows in a storyline of ideas. And I have to find a way to connect People are really cruel, and it really bothers me how cruel they can be. That's why I try to be kinder and nicer and reprimand my mistakes. Laws are so cruel. People are so cruel. I had a really good day because every one of the people who were nice, luckily every single person I had to deal with today was really polite, and I'm kind of glad considering how hectic the day was. We kept running out of things and I was so distressed because my manager kept being really angry in the background, and it just brought up memories of my childhood. Instability. I don't like instability. I think people need to have a way to calm themselves down. But some people, they just build up with the pressure and let it crush them, instead of trying to breathe and talk themselves out of it. And it takes a lot of training to find out how to talk yourself out of things. It takes a lot of patience to figure out how to just be able to talk yourself out of your issues when you start spiraling down. It's hard, but it's possible. And trust me on this, you will figure it out. You will find a way. I promise you it's possible. If you're struggling with something, it is possible to help yourself get talked out of it. Sometimes you can't, and it will just keep crushing you. But sometimes you can. You just gotta find the logic, and you have to find the truth. And it's difficult because the crushing weight does make it hard to think. Then you get a bit more erratic. I've seen a lot of people enter abuse Oh, the cameras. Look how pretty blue flowers are. I've always liked blue flowers. Because blue doesn't really occur very often in nature. The only thing that's really blue all the time, well, not always, because sometimes the sky is gray, and so are sometimes butterflies, but they're not any less beautiful. I quite like the color blue. It's not my favorite. I prefer greens, but this one doesn't have any green. It has blue. Don't get me wrong, flowers are meant to have vibrant colors. Whenever I paint flowers, I usually use a purple or a blue, occasionally a red, sometimes pink, because those are the colors that look really good as flowers. But I always pair the leaves as a bright green, because I like the vibrancy of green. It complements colors so naturally and so elegantly that it's calming. You might not ever get the vibe. Oh, there we go. I was like, I saw one missing layer. Let's start with the darkest color because I think it's the easiest to see. I've always been a very ditzy person. I've always been called ditzy because of how innocent my type of thoughts are, but yet so weird and disgusting some of them can be. Just trying to figure out a bait. I do know that I'm quite decent at a lot of different things. I'm not great at anything, but I'm decent at. Sometimes I just want to listen to something or vibe with the chill. Imagine having your whole purpose being making other people's lives harder. It could never be me. Imagine someone who raised you being fired just because your mom thinks you're gay, or be told there's a cure for who you are. I'm so glad my parents aren't prejudiced like that towards me. My mom does deny the fact that I like women. She thinks, nope, you only like men. But that's because my mom wants me to be exactly like her. But I'm not. I'm a combination of both my parents. Because that's kind of what happens when you have children. They become both of the parents. So if you don't fully like who you're with, don't have kids with them. Don't sleep with someone that you're not fully in love with. I feel like a lot of people shouldn't be having kids because some of them are really cruel. I think about a lot is with hired help is it's up to us to be nice to them. Comment my mom always made for me. My mom always would call me fat. Sometimes mothers are the most cruel and judgmental, though, to their daughters, and sometimes it's the fathers. Our parents are supposed to be nice to how we are, but also not creepy about it. I've heard some horror stories of girls whose fathers were a little more than judgmental. They were physically, like, pointing out their curves and stuff, which is really creepy. It's like they're flirting with their daughters like they are their mother. What I hate the worst is when people think I'm looking for a relationship actively. I do want to eventually, because I feel like I've grown enough as a person to be a lot more mature and respectful. Am I there fully? Hell no. But I'm close enough where then I won't be as much of like an appalling mess. But I've also been told when I was younger, when I first tried to flirt with a girl, that I look too Catholic, too put together. That crushed me, man. Because I listened to heavy metal and stuff, but I always prided myself on looking decent. Because I was told I was gorgeous multiple times or very beautiful, but never felt it. Oh, I missed one. I wonder how they choose what numbers they're going to use for them. Or what something that I've always believed in is that doesn't matter how you look, matters what's in your soul. God, to a kid because you couldn't bring him for help. Nobody wanted to help him. It's a cruel reality for some people is that they can't get help because nobody's willing to help. There's actually like a doctor shortage in my state, and my insurance doesn't cover me going out of state, which means I have no way to have a permanent doctor, and I likely won't have one unless I change my insurance. What's the point of having insurance if you can't use it? It's cruel. Imagine not being able to tell the truth. I feel bad for anyone who can't speak their truth. Sad world some people live in. They don't get to be who they want to be or who they are as people. If you really cared about someone and then they betrayed you, how far would you take it to get revenge on them?